would DeVries betray her fellow agents like that? It's a rhetorical question. I already know. Just making conversation.
Automechanicals to overcome the creatures, crack their dense carapace, then scoop out the soft, delicate goodness inside, so you don't have to.
It's higher in protein and lower in calories than beef, so a responsible way to stay healthy for the Protectorate. And now one no longer has to fret about being trampled or clawed in twain to get it.
Perilous indulgence crabble cakes. Doing your duty for society has never been so delicious.
Looks like the second choice has got a new shipment of swill. Gave it a try. Needs some aging, but not too bad.
What? I was just with Barney. He said we're not getting any new shipments for months. What did he let you try?
Well, I, maybe didn't run.
Can't tell if you're a fixer or need fixing.
Keeping everything above board? I hope not.
Selling everything! My stuff, the clothes on my back, my teeth, several organs. First come, first serve. If somebody who looks like me sold you an engine that exploded, that was my evil twin.
Welcome to the true free market, friend.
Keep
an eye out for snitches. Got a good thing going here.
I was under the impression that Free Market Station was open to all. Why am I being accosted?
Free Market Station is open to all, except spies. It's awful suspicious how you've been gallivanting about, asking everyone questions.
I am not a spy. The information I'm collecting here shall be of historical significance someday. Surely you can appreciate that.
I'm sure that information wouldn't help at all in clearing us out of the station years from now.
Your regular allotment of moderation vodka. It's the perfect libation to imbibe in celebration of daily service done well. Moderation vodka, distilled with zeal. Well, that was thoroughly enriching. Let's continue.
Hey, you there! If you're interested in furthering the cause of history, come speak with me.
Still going on about this? Sakes alive. Hope that wayward science type didn't disturb you much, friend. We of the station normally do our best to dissuade partisans from making nuisances of themselves. Suppose I can't stop you. Just don't let her convince you to do anything that might put you at odds with our security forces. All that aside, enjoy your time on the station. Don't get into any trouble.
Greetings. Are you perhaps interested in advancing the knowledge of Arcadia's history through scientific exploration? What am I saying? Of course you are. Please, do tell me anything you might know about the crash of the ACS Free Market. Do pardon my forwardness. I saw that you were a new arrival, but I held out some hope that you might be able to enlighten me, where the station populace has not. As an archivist, it's my duty to collect and record hitherto unrecorded knowledge wherever it can be found. But my earnest questions have been met with suspicion. The ACS Free Market is a crashed Auntie's Choice freighter. Free Market Station was hewed from the ruins and built into the settlement it is today. If some independent preservationist would be willing to assist me in discovering the truth, I certainly would appreciate it. That's great. I can offer you a stipend from my exploratory budget for anything you might manage to discover. Converse with the locals, peer into unturned corners, and see what your able hand might unearth. I look forward to furthering the cause of history with you. I'd ask about in the saloon and the bazaar. Both are places where gossip flies about like so many tarot rays. Sub Rosa likely has some information about the crash, but I'm not sure where. You also might be able to find some intact portion of the ship amidst all of the station's wreckage. Take a look around. I'm sure you'll be able to get farther on your own.
Nice day for shady dealings.
If it inflicts grievous bodily harm on other people, I've got it. Mind telling me if I still got both my eyebrows? Never mind. They were just slowing me down anyway. Rouse all you like. Everything I've got is fine-tuned to perfection. That's privileged information, friend. If you want it, you're going to have to kill me. Just jesting. Although if you did want to kill me, I've got many finely priced perforators tuned to do just that. Perhaps you'd be inclined to take a look at my wares? Feel free to go on a murderous rampage with what you buy. It's good publicity.
Mental refreshment is so important.
Only the Protectorate possesses the advanced technology and know-how behind the mental refreshment process. That's why we are all happy and contented, and others are not.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them for mental refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea. It's the law. Next up.
Here's a little number to get your feet tapping and your mind meditating on the perfection of Protectorate society.
Buy from me? Please? Listen, I know I shouldn't warn you about this, but anything I sell you runs the risk of exploding. I trust you'll appreciate my forthrightness and, be all the more willing to buy from me? No. Ships decidedly ain't in my purview. You sure I can't interest you in some bric-a-brac instead of this conversation?
Hello, 午安啊。
You'd need to purchase much more from my stock for me to consider such a course of action. Well, none taken. I never intended to be. But when life breaks your jaw and shoots out your knees, may as well learn to get good at crawling, right? Oh, I prefer to focus on the present and the future, and not things that may or may not keep me awake in the dark and lonesome hours of the night. Great. Let's get back to not this subject. I'd be happy to show you.
If you've a tooth pain, you know who to visit.
If you're here about a toothache, you've come to the right place. If you're here bleeding from a dozen bullet wounds, I suppose I can help with that too. If you've wounds that need stitching or teeth that need scrutiny, I'm your doctor. Yes? Is this a problem? I'm the only doctor on Free Market Station. I think that excuses whatever quirks I may or may not have. My prior faction demanded I strictly adhere to my vocation and forego the world of dentistry, under penalty of death after a certain number of infractions. Suffice it to say, I'm pleased Free Market Station allows me to be myself. Medicaments and more, all sufficiently regulated, or thereabouts.
This is Protectorate Sanctioned Wireless. Social guidance and approved messaging, punctuated by acceptable music.
Every component is vital. 看一下这一个有没有持续治疗550个生命值？哦，这个可能有用哦。
Precisely, without error, like clockwork.
哦，这个是制作创伤急救包，我有需要。
Luckily, it's a shared one. We all rely upon each other to discern if we're lagging, or our zeal seems lacking, or just appear off somehow. Even the slightest drop in performance in such an intricately designed system can have great ramifications down the line. So remember, To inform on your neighbor is a blessing. A quick mental tune-up is occasionally necessary for everyone, so we can all operate in tip-top shape. When they return from the mental refreshment center, they will surely thank you for it. Prudence dictates, eye your neighbors carefully. Now you know all you need to know, so on we go. The following song was composed, performed, and recorded under the explicit direction of the Sovereign, and as...
Get caught unawares all you like. My armor will keep you safe. Only thing dependable as my gear are my prices. Happy to have you. Tell me what you need. Booming now. Used to be a few other armor shops on the station. As it happened, their owners mysteriously vanished. I picked up their inventories real cheap, since they were just taking up station storage. It sure was a convenient windfall for yours truly. Real convenient. No, I wouldn't worry about that. Extremely unrelated, but I'd avoid the chef de mécanique's twice braised indeterminate flesh scraps if I was you. They can be, gamey. Can do.
好吧，看一看，我这个先不买。那个搞不好在路上任务应该可以拿到一些什么东西。
If you lost it, I'm selling it.
有一些升级的部件的模组，这个有机会再来看好了，有时间再慢慢看好了。三管连发器我好像已经有了，这边有一些重型武器的部件。The second choice.
I'm beginning to reach the tail end of my patience. You will tell me the location of the broker.
Lad, you ain't got much of a concept of a deal, do you? You ain't got nothing to offer, and a threat is offering less than nothing.
You realize any other arbiter would have crushed you where you stand for obstruction of justice long before now? That I am flowing with magnanimity?
Can't say I know what that word means, but if you're inclined to keep threatening me, only thing gonna be flowing is your blood out your body. Maybe if you would actually purchase something, I'd help you find your quarry. Well, might. Actually, might's a strong word.
The Sovereign's arbiters do not negotiate. Tell me where the broker is.
Yeah, I got actual customers to see to. Let me know how not negotiating goes for you. Stranger, seen my fix? Hope you're about to offer to rid me of this damn fool.
You cannot dissuade an arbiter from their sovereign-given duty, no matter how much of an irritant you may attempt to be. I came to meet with the information broker for, protectorate business, protectorate reasons. However, I find myself foiled at near every turn. None within the protectorate would defy an arbiter and expect to live. Regrettably, I cannot make the locals see reason without rendering myself unable to learn what I seek.
Even polite entreaties don't see most getting an invite to the broker. And you've been anything but.
I am hardly bending the rules, as you so put it, as we arbiters may operate however we see fit. I appreciate the observation, however. Hardly expected such from an outsider.
Say whatever you want, but trusting this fella even this close to the broker is a massive risk. Be a damn fool to take him at his word.
An arbiter need prove themselves to no one but the sovereign. But if I must debase myself to further my aim, so be it.
Interesting thought. Occurs to me there might just be something that needs looking into. Within the Golden Ridge locale on Dorado, there's a refugee camp. It's unassuming, quiet-like. Most of the folks there just want to be left alone. They see to the few needs they have by working with the broker. But we ain't heard from them in a fortnight and change. Serves to reason something untoward may have transpired there. You see your way to looking into that, maybe we'll talk. That's between them and Sub Rosa. You in or you out? I don't fancy the idea of letting an arbiter loose on our allies without supervision. Might not know you, but anything's better than giving him complete freedom.
I do not take your speaking of me as some kind of feral canid lightly.
Great! Take the lap canid with you. I've had enough of his excitability, and so have my customers.
I don't claim to be pleased with the circumstances surrounding this co-investigation, but perhaps we may surprise one another. I'm Arbiter Tristan Rao.
哦，所以他会是我的伙伴之一哦，新伙伴。因为我看他的对话右上角没有什么阵营。
When I was an apprentice, yes, but not since. And certainly never with an outsider. I shall meet you at the camp. Let us hope we both arrive there intact.
Greetings again. Hope that little day excursion you and I jawed about is going well. Libations or information? What's your poison? If you were running a less-than-legal group, would you want everyone knowing your agents' identities? I don't think so. Lots of folks in Sub Rosa have friends and family elsewhere. Auntie's Choice and the Protectorate predominantly, but some order. If their identities somehow got out, those friends and family are suddenly going to look like much juicier targets. It's safer for everyone this way. Always. For example, there's some kind of hoity-toity collector type parked upstairs. Supposedly, she's willing to sell some of her collection if you impress her. Laws.
Come now, Prospero, you've been on that stage hundreds of times. This perturbation looks bad on you, and you're not one for looking bad. Terribly sorry you've got me ruminating. A man of my persuasion shouldn't stoop to such self-deprecation, especially in front of prospective customers. Once again, I'm embarrassed that I let that slip. Without turning it into a piece of comedy, that is. Comedy never sleeps. I'm in charge of keeping the patrons of the saloon entertained. Normally this does not present an issue, but I learned that an old flame of mine shall attend my next performance. My resolve is uncharacteristically flagging. I find myself fixating on the most minute of issues. I need something to bolster my confidence. She knows my real name. Prospero's just a stage title, as it happens. There's a certain kind of intimacy that I fear shall be difficult to ignore. Liquid courage has never failed me, but I have a discerning palate. The automech chef from the bazaar sells my preferred brand of alcohol, though it can be headstrong. You see, I can't just drink any old swill from the bar. My refined palate can only stomach one drink. Iceberg-aged whiskey. Something of a collector's item, I'm told. Now, if you'll excuse me, an artist must be granted solitude to properly amass his mental forces.
所以我要去找一瓶冰山陈酿威士忌。从集市的自走机器体那里弄一个，我还没走到那边去，是不是？哦，在这里，在这上面。
Another challenger approaches. Prepare to be sent weeping from my curio collection. None have defeated my collections, and none shall. But I do so delight in a competition. Are you prepared to do battle? The Spectrum Dance Saber, a prototype weapon of Auntie's heyday. I shan't spoil its implications, not unless you prove your worth. Cards, my dear, of the tossball and pitchball variety. I must see if your collection bests my own. Sporting! Let us do battle. A not unimpressive display, closing in on my own. With perhaps a handful more, you just might defeat me. But today, you do not. I cannot open my wares to any unless their collections rival my own. I hope you understand. Feel free to return once you have bolstered your ranks. But know that you shall still not defeat me.
You need coveralls, we got coveralls. I might not know what all my wares are, but I'm sure we can find something you like. If you're in need of sprucing up the old wardrobe, I can provide. Used to be part of Auntie's Choice. Nothing special, just a pilot for light cargo vessels. Had a lot of time to think, with just the void for company. Eventually decided I was sick of being overworked and underpaid, and made off with my cargo. Turned out to be generic clothes, work gear, and such. More of a market for it out here than I would have guessed. I've bolstered my wares since. You should give them a look. I got rags, fineries, and everything in between.
Sales grandstanding not found. If you became violently ill after eating here, please feel free to write our stall an angry letter, then burn it. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Negative. This unit and stall are registered to Gerald T. Wenrich. Mr. Wenrich last visited 222 days ago. When last seen, Mr. Wenrich mentioned he was, quote, going to teach those, redacted, sub rosa, redacted, a lesson. Nobody extorts Gerald T. Wenrich. All wares were at some point cooked fresh.
哎，不会吧？结果他这里没有卖那个什么冰山陈酿威士忌。
Preparing Sniveling Servitude Protocol. Complete. Greetings, most valued and attractive customer. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Yes, Iceberg Aged Whiskey is currently on reserve for Prospero Palo. Current customer is not Prospero Palo. Unit cannot vend to current customer. Unit is not familiar with that recipe. Scanning. Customer has not transfigured into Prospero Palo since last visit. Unit cannot vend alcohol until this occurs. Unit cannot see
due to extensive oil splatter residue on ocular lens. Presently using heat measurement instruments to sense customers.
好吧，那我现在没办法拿到，一个就是我要去假冒那个人，要不然的话就是把我的 hack 的等级拉到3，所以我暂时没办法做这些事情，所以我还是得去金棘岭了。
Anybody even listening to this? Let me tell you stuff. Hello once more. I guarantee you some of my inventions will be working soon. In the meantime, I've plenty of
Tired of firearms that explode in your face? Come to Not a Weapon Store. Hey, you smell gunpowder? Do you want to browse all you like? Everything I've got is fine-tuned to perfection. I'm glad you asked. Weapon is an all-encompassing term. A rock can be a weapon, or a stick, or a particularly agitated sprat if you have thick enough gloves. But what I sell here, I wouldn't dare lump them in with mere weapons. These are finely tuned instruments of personnel elimination. You have my guarantee. My equipment for annihilating one's foes will never fail on you. Full disclosure, my guarantee is not guaranteed. If it inflicts grievous bodily harm on other people, I've got it.
它这一边的翻译是不是有点不同步啊？获取奥托的情报，市集里有一个叫做奥托莱斯林的商人，然后这边的翻译它是奥托雷斯令，操，不会吧？你这个同一个名字居然不同步。
No more. Honest. Hello once more. I guarantee you some of my inventions will be working soon. In the meantime, I've plenty of miscellanea for sale. Oh, I prefer to focus on the present and the future, and not things that may or may not keep me awake in the dark and lonesome hours of the night. I don't think that'd be smart. I need to keep my mind free of trauma if I want to improve my workflow.
哦，对了，等一下，我想到了，我也有一顶帽子，可以提升说服力，不知道这个有没有用。
Hello once more. I guarantee you some of my inventions will be working soon. In the meantime, I've plenty of miscellanea for sale. Oh, I prefer to focus on the present and the future, and not things that may or may not keep me awake in the dark and lonesome hours of the night.
未发现必须信息，所以我还要取得其他情报来跟他讲话。
You'd need to purchase much more from my stock for me to consider such a course of action. I'd be happy to show you.
另外一个就是要跟他买东西，可是我想，这里面有什么东西我需要的？黑火药我需要，磁铁、废铁，这是螺丝，齿轮、弹簧，废铁我也需要废铁，跟他买一些东西好了。废铁我做子弹的时候会用到。火药也会用到。
Hello once more. I guarantee you. Oh, I prefer to focus on the present and the future. Great. Let's get back to not this subject.
My contraptions don't explode no more. Honest.
看样子这边先进行不下去了，可能还是要去荆棘岭吧。
Protect your loved ones, protect yourself. Look, everyone else here, tell me what you need. Get caught unawares all you like. My armor will keep you safe.
As it happens, standing in one place and focusing on not being nervous does not, in fact, help one not be nervous. I would love to, my friend. I truly would. But what if I leave and my flame arrives while I am absent? I may appear to be the picture of relaxation, but I assure you, this is all a carefully constructed facade, bent to exude confidence. If I leave, it shall shatter. And if she were here waiting for me when I returned, I shudder to think at the upper hand she would gain. No, my friend. You must make do without me. I've been better. I've been worse. Preparing for either extremity.
Greetings again. Libations or information? What's your poison? Oh, sure. Got it right behind the bottled gold and spiced silver. No, I ain't got any fancy booze for our in-house drunkard. And if he wants to know if I do, he should come and ask me himself. Or better yet, focus on his upcoming set.
My gear has the fewest holes out of any clothes on. My folks didn't raise no fat. If you're in need of sprucing up the old wardrobe, I got rags, fine. Garments here. Come ganderize.
Shop here to acquire fine. Welcome to our store. Let me this unit rehydrate for you.
OK， 所以不行。
Meals currently sold with both salt and...
That must be Matriarch's Mercy. Sure think a lot of their royal family, don't they? how long? We got bases down there. If one of them got hit, then that strike will be the first of many.
我要找怎么下去啊？没有下去的路吗？等一下。
The plan can wait. Our lines will not. Good subjects arrive 15 minutes early to avoid missing their tram.
Wow, this station's sure gone to scrap since last I stepped about. Don't think we'll be hitching a ride anywhere quick.
Stay vigilant. Report any suspicious activity to your nearest station warden. This is your 2061st reminder to keep all personal items with you at all times. Your patience is commendable, passenger. Please continue waiting quietly until the next tram arrives. Thank you for picking up your personal belongings. We must all work together to keep Golden Ridge beautiful. Attention,
Looks like folks holed up here after the fighting started. Guess not everybody was eager to take sides.
Day 206. Morale? Low. Condition? Feeble. Voucher mech. Watching. Always watching. Many have left for Matriarch's mercy, seeking refuge with the Order. The fools. Can't they see the Order is no different from the Protectorate? The Order won't—
Incessant muttering to oneself.
哦，里面有一个保险箱，所以我要拿到那个孔武有力的特质来把它弄开啊！孔武有力。怎么没有看到孔武有力啊？哎，为什么没有看到孔武有力啊？是他在没办法使？没有孔武有力，为什么？哎。
Lest you're bent on exploring, best we hoof it over to Matriarch's mercy and meet with that abbot Basar mentioned.
Please, somebody help us! Anybody, please! Finally, some help. We desperately need aid. Desperately. My family and I, we was making our way to the mercy camp for us refugees. We were set upon. My wife, my son were injured. Can't move them by myself. I had to leave them just past this tunnel so as I could go for help. But being alone is even more riskier. The Varachnids, I chased them off, but they'll be back. Please help us. Ain't nothing I can do for them, but you got weapon and medicines and can get us to the camp. Please. I don't... Vary, by my guess. She was bit on the thigh, high, like, can see bone. Or maybe white means infected? She's screaming all the time when she's awake. Then she goes to sleep. She in agony. And my son ain't waked since the attack. Hurry, please. We must hurry, or they'll be eaten. Or worse. Thank you. Thank you. This way. This way.
这也许会不会是个陷阱呢？因为在其他游戏里面，有时候这是陷阱。啊哈，被我猜对了，是个陷阱。因为很多游戏都有这个。好了，去收拾了，看能不能捡到一些什么东西。好像拿到一把新武器，我看一下啊，拿到一把什么东西呀？爆裂突击步枪，看一下它的射速啊。哦，这个突击步枪的射速比较快。可是它不是金枪，没关系啊，先留着好了。什么东西啊？等离子手榴弹啊！
stranger. The order bids you welcome, but also warnings.
In light of the recent attack on Auntie's Choice, you may want to make haste to Matriarch's Mercy. It's just down the road here.
So it was one of our bases that got hit. Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
I can't rightly say, and that is rather concerning in its own right. It seems our temporary ceasefire with the corporatists may be at its end. Yes, this was an active war zone until recently, and now seems like it may be so again. I'm not quite certain why the attack was launched, but that is not under my purview. I'd surmise that when Auntie's Choice realized they couldn't get through our defensive measures, they wisely chose the path of diplomacy. Seems I was mistaken.
Well, it weren't our artillery that made that strike. I can tell you that much.
They must have done something to provoke an attack, which is why your safest path now is the one that leads to Matriarch's Mercy. The Order controls everything south of this point, but the rest is beset with various dangers. Zealots, scavengers, creatures, and corporatists. Well, not certain about that last one anymore after the attack. Cultists, mad to the last one. I believe they worship the rifts or some such. People will turn to anything to ease their discomfort during times of crisis, I suppose. They're both unstable and violent. Auntie's forces call them scrappers, and uses them for just that, gathering scrap materials. Excessive abuse of stimulants has made them severely unbalanced and prone to violence. They've also been known to pose as refugees, to lure their victims into ambushes. There are several camps of them northwest of here. I'd strongly advise keeping your distance. The creatures are of the genus Arachnid. They are large enough to kill a full-grown human, and exceedingly willing to do so.
All your endeavors elicit expected results.
I don't see anything else coming. This is just the one.
An ongoing prolongation of existence advisory remains.
Another refugee? All right, simple. Just a moment. Allowing anyone into Matriarch's Mercy unprocessed will upset the precarious ratio of refugees to aid. We should have an opportunity for placement in approximately 7.85 days, presuming no unforeseen alterations. I seem to recollect one matching your description set for arrival. Pardon my slowing your ingress. It has been rather hectic of late. Welcome to Matriarch's Mercy. Rule number 1, no crowding. Rule number 2, avoid the exclusion zone. Our seer has predicted non-specific imminent danger. I thought the name was self-explanatory. Our seer predicted that a corner of the encampment is in terrible danger. Danger from what or when? Unclear. Stay away from it, and, in all probability, you won't have to find out. Safety and probability are incompatible. Eventually, nowhere will be safe, including here. Our predictions spring from the universal equation, the very numbers that guide the stars. Only a fool ignores probability, and we don't suffer fools around these parts. Not at present, but according to our predictions, the creation of a third rule is likely, if not inevitable. That's enough questions. Keep the line moving. You need anything, talk to Seer Wiley. He's in the lift building, straight through the settlement.
I can't recall the last time this region was silent. Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
Haters, order defecting.
I swear, it's nigh on impossible to find decent animal remains in these parts.
他是有名字的，所以表示应该在他身上有些什么任务吧，现在还没触发。看来他是收集动物的标本。
If we fact... And then we solve for the... apologies. Just catching up on a research assignment between queries. Yes? Did you need something? Typically, no. And it has been somewhat challenging focusing my concentration. The abbot felt a scientician operating in a conspicuous spot in the thoroughfare might be useful. An illustrative way for our guests to see how we operate. To show how the crabble patties are made, as it were. That is, if the meat preparation involved a 90-step rate formula and a conflux of polynomial equations. I am also on hand to answer queries by providing data supporting our actions. Though perhaps due to my central location, 89.74% of the time, I am simply asked for directions. I am sure they bear any inconveniences with grace and dignity. I mean, the statistical jump correlated to residents within Matriarch's Mercy has some pretty compelling numbers. According to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factors. Longevity, access to medicine, potable water. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. Numbers are really against you out there. By quite a healthy statistical margin, yes. We nurture the body while we minister to the mind. We organize, we adapt. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistically significant 2.7% increase in refugee satisfaction. But if my data remains unconvincing, I suggest you inquire with Provisioner Plotnik inside the lift building. Simply tell her Archivist Widmark approves brief use of her time. Then back to it I shall get.
My soup is nutritionally calculated to sustain all bodily functions, but it could use a little salt.
Law. I haven't seen this many folks crammed together since recalled libations night at the Thruster. Smells about the same, too.
The Grand Plan is the predetermined order to the entire universe. We can predict it down to a decimal point. Apologies, outsider. As a vicar, I am usually tasked with guiding non-order lay people, such as yourself. Lately, the abbot has tasked me with the education of the refugees in our care. You are, of course, free to stay to be enlightened by my lecture, but I don't need an abacus to predict your path lies elsewhere. Well, if it's in the displaced's best interests, I imagine I can find a moment. Yes, I reckon I do have my ear to the grimy dirt floor of Matriarch's Mercy. I hear what common lay people are saying, and the wide array of bodily noises they make. Suppose I, more than any other member of the Order here, connect with non-scienticians. I've begun daily lectures, including practical advice on efficiently planning their days. I frequently launch into extended orations on everyone's favorite topic, math, and meticulously expatiate on our sex origins in the most rigorously pedantic detail. As I'm sure you've read in recent dissertations doing the rounds, education has proven to have a 13.7% increase in overall quality of life. I am single-handedly making a difference here, with constructive pointers on efficient scheduling, lessons on order history, plus some mathematics for a little added razzle-dazzle. Perhaps some other time we can debate the theoretical complexities involved. But I fear I must get back to my duties. These laypersons won't enlighten themselves.
Watch yourself if you intend to nose around that collapsed ramshackle. I swear, refugee settlements aren't what they used to be. Oh yeah, Duarte. He's former aunties like me. He was underneath for a few hours. Or, no, that was before. This time it was Rollo Nast? No. Gert Valkenburg. Happens a lot. People here need more room to breathe. Can't build in the walkways, can't set up in the exclusion zone. So they build up. Best they can, at least. Don't have proper building material or nothing. They just make do. After a while, the stacked up little huts they jury-rigged come tumbling down. Oh, you put that together, did you? Here, I thought I was being subtle. Yeah, people keep at it. What else choice they have? Order won't listen. Maybe if we interspersed our requests with numbers, they'd pay attention. Seems like all they care about sometimes. They're doing something, which is better than nothing, but not by much.
Well-formulated plan. You'll never forget your first higher-order logarithmic differentiation. Cogitate before you
不会吧？所以不能偷东西。哈哈哈！好了，我知道了，不能偷东西。等一下，声望下降。
will be met with swift and equivalent action.
偷东西声望会下降，所以就先不偷吧。
Welcome. Have you come to bask in the Order's knowledge?
What happened to this place? Law. Matriarch's Mercy are no safer than the trenches.
Look on the bright side.
Oh,
I predict
a visitor. Without notice. Hello. You weren't mentioned in my latest personalized order prediction. Granted, I mostly skim the parts what don't cover probabilistic dangers, so perhaps you were alluded to in some, roundabout fashion. Suppose that means you're not a threat. So that's good, right? Yeah, I reckon that's good. I'll say, I try not to make any big plans until I consult my latest POP. First time I got a POP, it was on a lark. It said, Rolo Nast, our seer has predicted you must wear a helmet today. I borrowed one, as a laugh. Everybody ribbed me about it. Just after lunch, wind picked up on the cliff above and dropped a mock apple 152 meters straight down onto my head. Fortunately, I still had that brain case on. Sure, but I've had 9 POPs so far, and at least 3 times something similar happened. Avoided drowning in a culvert, sidestepped my mantisaur allergy. Forget the other. Things like that just illustrate the fragile nature of human existence, especially here in Golden Ridge. My co-occupant Ike had a POP done. I told him avoid liquids for 48 hours. He ignored it. Later got drunk, passed out, drowned face first in a puddle of water. You did catch the part I said they saved my life, right? I think alive is a notable improvement on dead. That's something you can take to the bank, Figuratively speaking. I don't know why the other displaced have been so slow to take to them. But I'm not complaining too loud. Waited for my latest POPs long enough already.
We're not going anywhere. Not on the basis of some half-baked prediction. This so-called exclusion zone is where we stake our claim. Stand with me in defense of freedom.
I've got your numeral. Keep moving. Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict, with an 8.23 margin of error, that our situation will improve in time.
Stop it with the predictions. You don't even know multivariable calculus.
Just trying to cheer you up.
Broke my nose last scrap. Or, I guess Raleigh Dortmunder did, huh? I still don't get any of this. I banged him up real good for you, didn't I? I won you one, right? Matters settled. The void you did. Barely connected. You're thinking of 2-3 scraps ago. You've been mostly unconscious a while now. You ought to talk to Boss Tilda. She's the brains in this... What does she call it? Oh, yeah. Quasi-illicit shenanigan.
Doesn't like to look at us when we're all banged up. Said my face turned her off Borscht loaf.
Anyhow, head down the hill along the fence. Tell her Mapother and Mudge sent you.
Word to wise, don't accept anything here that's given for free. You'll pay, one way or another. Commander, you got a minute to talk? I got some thoughts on this situation with the refugees. The number of folks seeking refuge from the war is, well, it's beyond what I expected. And beyond what the Order is capable of handling, seems like. Andes may not be faring much better here, but we could at least find enough work for these folk to buy some food. You sure? The Order seems a whole lot more concerned with dazzling the populace with numbers than anything else. It's a tough situation, that's all I'm saying. But if the Order can't even manage tens of folk at their doorstep, they ain't gonna manage much better should they win the war. But nothing's ever really free, is it? I went through this myself when Andy's Choice took over Tau Ceti. It took time to secure the merger, but once they did, we folk got the help we needed real quick. And all they wanted in return was the signing of an employment contract. Now, I ain't seeing any contracts in Matriarch's Mercy. So what is the Order actually gaining by doing this? The thought has crossed my mind, though I reckon we might have seen concrete proof of that by now. Anyhow, if the Order is in fact helping these folk with no hidden aims, then... well, I'll be the first to admit that there might just be merit in what they're selling. Appreciate you hearing me out.
Greetings. What can I help you with? Let me guess. One of your co-occupants is always hanging up his or her britches in your corner of the yurt. Am I right? Or you're dealing with more of a stay off my palate or that's my air you're breathing sort of thing. Hmm? Pray elucidate the exact nature of your tiff of contention. Oh, a semi-informed customer. Well, we offer a wide array of proxy altercations, from restrained bludgeoning to flat-out scraps. Here in Matriarch's Mercy, if you're not a member of the Order, you're probably living close to somebody else. In some cases, sleeping on top of them. Sort of thing tends to cause friction between neighbors. Would lead to fights, but nobody here wants trouble with the Order. So they hire our hooligans to battle by proxy. Half the time, people shy away at the first sight of blood. The other, that's what they're there for. We say, whoever wins the fight wins the argument. But frankly, it's never anything of consequence, like, okay, hurrah! This guy gets back his mangy button. Now, how can I help you exactly? Ugh, a tourist. Well, clear out then, huh? Can't have you scaring off real customers. I got a bunch of yeggs, 2 pugilized pugilists, and a sick canid to feed. Go on, get out of here. Scram.
Look, your nose was just a stand-in for Duarte. Ow!
How long are we meant to stay here?
That's the order. I'm not in the prediction business.
What caused the schism between the Protectorate and the Order? Tried to kill presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar.
$1,068.5 pardons, but my attention is presently 99.81% occupied, coordinating provisions and supplies for the displaced. Well, if the archivist said so, I suppose I can factor out a moment. As the assigned provisioner, I am responsible for coordinating the requisition and distribution of comestibles, medicinals, and miscellaneous vital supplies. The overwhelming majority of my time is dedicated to this, leaving only moments to see to the Order's needs in the settlement. But it is an effort I undertake with great relish. You may not have noticed, but the refugees do not want for food or medicine. The Order of the Ascendant is dedicated to the ascension of humanity. Our ultimate goal may not be reached in our lifetime. If I can help others in need today, I shall do so to the utmost extent of my abilities and resources. With the great disruption that has occurred to their lives, one can hardly blame them. That they are fed and remain healthy is sufficient for me. Appreciate you respecting my time. My time is yours. You may peruse to your heart's content, but do so speedily for my sake.
What is it? I have 15 seconds of allotted time for non-specific discourse, so choose your words with expediency. Oh, new arrivals. Of an independent operative nature, one presumes. Did the abbot assign you to help? Yes. Unfortunately, you are the first to notice. Infrastructure requests from the displaced exceed present resource capacity. The mounting accumulation of prevailing desideratum is regrettably beyond us. Or beyond me, more to the point. I am simply one person, impossibly stretched thin, and unable to attend to the needs of the displaced. You mean you'll help? Thank the mercy of the cosmos. Tell me, what do you know of the exclusion zone? Excuse me, but the intricate dance of the cosmos is anything but shady. You see, the seer predicted that a calamity would befall the exclusion zone, warning that the barrier must not be crossed. But the ever-disruptive voice of the displaced is dead set on occupying the exclusion zone anyway, laughing in the face of certain peril. We don't know, and therein lies the frustration. The Seer has augured death for anyone who enters the exclusion zone. Yes, you heard me right. Death. Furthermore, and I quote, "An outside mediator, having earned the confidence of both sides, has a high likelihood of clearing up an ongoing dispute." We can't have the voice of the displaced sowing disorder. Will you help us? Will you be our outside mediator, as was foretold? The first step is to familiarize yourself with every angle of the dispute. Talk to the people of Matriarch's Mercy. The displaced want the exclusion zone. We want it kept off limits. We can't both be right. Feel free to speak with the voice of the displaced herself if you aren't already acquainted. Any questions before you get started? I can tell you she's a rabble-rouser of the highest order. Still, she cleaves to her principles. That's something. You can find her outside, among her people, stubbornly defying an order barricade. Novice Seer Vicarage should have ample time to illuminate you on the Order's forecast modeling methods. He's just down the room from here. These are the data points we need. Keep at it then. Precision is ever our ideal. Many people around camp support or object to our methods. Speak to them, form your own opinion, and when you are ready, we will decide the fate of the exclusion zone.
By the law. It's you. Oh, thank the architect you're finally here. I've scarcely breathed while hoping you'd come. I am in desperate need of your help. True, but the Order's predictions know you better than you know yourself. As a doctor, I'm appalled. We don't have enough beds or private quarters to separate people, so sickness is blazing an unhappy trail through the refugees. Of course, the Order keeps us well supplied with meds, but things will get worse as long as we're overcrowded. Yes, I can treat sickness as it arises. It would be leagues better to prevent it entirely. That means space to spread out. Since you asked, you can run this medicine to Horst Lambing. Just don't shake the man's hand. He has a habit of coughing into his palm when he covers it at all. You see, the Seers are members of the Order who labor over the universal equation. Even in its unfinished state, the equation gives them the means to predict the future. Recently, I had a rare opportunity to ask the Seer for guidance. He told me that a dashing outsider would answer my prayers. I feared the prediction was a fluke, but here you are. A dashing outsider standing before me. Where to begin? There are so many sick and wounded in Matriarch's Mercy, and I have but two imperfect hands. I am but a humble general practitioner. What I really need are specialists, and the Seer predicted an outsider would find them.
Might have time to patch up one or two patients before we head out. I used to be a combat medic. A good one, too.
You also strike me as someone on the go. I need committed medical employees, not a freelancer. The Seer gave me a datapad with explicit instructions that I not read it, for my intervention could only throw probability into disarray. Now, take the datapad, with my thanks. How can I be of service? Since you aren't a refugee, I hope you understand that I cannot offer my goods free of charge, but my prices are fair.
哦，这个有需要，可是要等我钱多一点再来买好了。这个一下子要花1500。哎，突然想到灵乳菇，这好像什么任务会用到啊？ 现在不能乱偷东西啊！乱偷东西，我声望会降低。一个是卖模组，一个是卖弹药的。
These worms are eventually expelled when they reach a size of approximately 2 centimeters in length, and they then...
You're right. The universe does not orient itself toward fairness. But it's my firm belief humanity can do better.
All evidence to the contrary. Ah! I pleasantly anticipated this exact moment. My personalized order prediction and weekly prognostics report both mentioned encountering an unforeseen factor about now. I suppose that designation doesn't wholly apply to you, though, does it? Predicting future events is an imprecise science. Currently, that is. Well, then. I read that you'd have questions about our predictive methods, correct? We utilize a mix of proprietary research methods to gather as complete a data set as possible, and advanced calculations using well-honed models to effectuate it. None of us predict events with complete accuracy or absolute detail. We'd need to solve the universal equation to do that. Fortunately, we're all working very hard on that problem. The Department of Predictive Analysis provide weekly prognostics reports and personalized order predictions to help steer our followers' paths. More what to watch out for. Advisement on adhering to the plan. Forecasts of probabilistic dangers. Elements of larger predictions made relevant to groups and individuals. The Department of Predictive Analysis is mainly populated by seers like myself, who represent the Order's most talented mathematicians. After years of study, some can predict events a few seconds or minutes into the future with reasonable precision. Others can estimate with up to 71.1% accuracy several months out. Of course, predictions have grown more difficult with the loss of the archive, but I am not to speak of that with an outsider. No offense. Unforeseen factors, random elements, anomalous outliers, incalculable variables, all of them can undercut the accuracy of our predictions. But as we close in on solving the universal equation, unknown unknowns will become known unknowns. Then finally, known knowns. You follow? Matriarch's mercy is brimming beyond capacity with those cast out by war. But we of the Order rise to every challenge and continually strive to better our guests' existence. Why, I, for instance, have availed my predictive methods to our refugee neighbors in the area. I share the very same surprise. Engagement is admittedly rather low, but at least one member of the camp reports he has benefited from them greatly. One of our recent guests, Rollo Nast, has received multiple personalized order predictions. I believe he could speak to the effectiveness of our ways firsthand. If my own humble assertions are not enough, I trust his attestations would convince you, and perhaps other members of the displaced as well. True, my situation does lack a certain refinement. Regrettably, this is Matriarch's mercy. We all must do the best we can with limited means. I foresee you have much to do. I won't keep you. Adieu.
Parasite free. More accurately, the label should read live site free. But
you must be the secret agent I was told to expect. Your punctuality is commendable. Allow me to welcome you to Golden Ridge. I'm afraid I've no refreshments available, but can I interest you in a customary debate over decidability? Sensible. Straight to business, then. The presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, pursuant to our normal standards of compartmentalization, she was scant on the details of your mission. That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Ridge? Since losing access to the archive, the Order has been forced to limit its open exchange of ideas and information to avoid contaminating what few predictions we can still make. The archive is a vast network of computational machines built beneath the ice of Cloister. Prior to the invasion, the Order used it to generate predictions on a vast scale. But listen to me prattling on. I'm sure you aren't here for a history lesson.
And leave Abbot Newell to be subjected to the inanity of a total stranger? Absolutely not.
Don't trouble yourself about Seer Wiley. He's here as my aide. I trust him implicitly. Now, you were saying? Victor? Yes, Archivist Clemens. Quite the mind. Such encyclopedic knowledge of engineering. One could almost mistake him for an exemplar. Is he in some kind of trouble?
Victor Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged datapad. It's difficult to imagine him capable of worse. And that may well be true. But our standard of proof within the Order is not normally met by hearsay alone. Victor's currently supervising highly experimental research at one of our labs to the northwest, the Enray Range, beyond the invaders' front lines. Unfortunately, you'll need to go through the decommissioned autonomous extractorium to reach it. That path is less than safe, so I advise caution. Besides the highly caustic Zeranium River and the Mantisaurs, we've also received reports of mad cultists in the area. It does make me wonder why Victor decided to stay. Indeed, they began showing up with their inane theories prior to the invasion. The first sign of dysfunction in the Protectorate. Always starts small, doesn't it? Loath as I am to admit it, there may be some merit to your worries over a conspiracy within the Order, whether Victor is involved or not. As my predecessor would remind me, denying unpleasant facts is not good science. I would be remiss if I failed to support an investigation. No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Auntie's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst. It would undoubtedly benefit both of us to root them out.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate? Choosing levity at a moment like this is only further evidence of your lack of good judgment.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend, but the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. It's best we trust her calculations. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden Ridge. One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence, but if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace. Most assuredly not. It would eliminate the entire point of the ceasefire. Please convey that fact to whomever you speak with. I knew I could rely upon you. Ruth wouldn't have sent you otherwise. Here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to the manufactory. Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes once you've returned with your findings. Illuminating the path to true erudition is an abbot's moral duty. Whatever I can tell you, I will.
A calling for those with a greater than average talent for mathematics and computation, particularly in the field of predictive analysis. Yes.
Seer Wiley is being too modest about his contributions. Many in the Order rely on Seers for their indispensable counsel. I myself would be lost without mine. Both, I should hope. We've been collaborating for many years, and, plan willing, for many more to come. Especially given how very uncertain life in the colony has become. Oh, indeed. I needn't educate you on what you can see with your very eyes. There is a great deal of pressure on me to navigate what is a rather novel situation. Without Wiley, I dare say our predicament here would be even more precarious. Many lives depend on him, on us both. Why, Matriarch's Mercy would not be the refuge it is without his predictions shepherding its development. Not if you consider the alternative. Its absence would be far more catastrophic for these poor refugees. Really, the Order is being quite charitable. That is a statue of the Matriarch, Alexandra Varick, Arcadia's founder and for whom the monastery was named after. Regrettably, Alexandra Monastery is closed to non-Order members at the moment, given recent troubles. But perhaps Seer Wiley can give us an estimation of its reopening.
Oh, certainly. According to my calculations, the monastery will be accessible to certain members of the public shortly.
Haha, good news indeed. Oh, you really must visit. The observatory is a true sight to behold.
Hope you appreciated how I bit my tongue back there with the abbot. Didn't want things to come to blows with civilians in the crossfire. Full of excuses for the attack, wasn't he? Could be that he's sincere. Or could be that he has his hands so full with keeping his community from falling apart that he missed a memo or two. Either way, I'm willing to stay my hand until we know the truth. If it were my folk buried under the rubble, if Ortiz was among them, I'd want to know for certain before acting. Besides, ain't nobody around here better suited for investigating than we are. I prefer doing my shooting after asking all the pertinent questions, Commander. While we're at it playing detective, we need to scope out opportunity. If there are any survivors, we ought to help, however we're able. I can only hope they had warning enough to run for cover. If they didn't, well, there's only so much basic training can prepare you for. Once endured a week-long bombardment in a foxhole with only enough rations to last 3 days. Screams went on twice that long. Some of us still ain't fully recovered. We should move on, unless you got something for me? We need to help the folk get opportunity, Commander. Void the Abbot. He's more concerned with exonerating his own than with making things right.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict with an 8.23 margin of error.
Oh. Administrant Agarwal. Here to finally hash this out, are you? Thought this day would never come. And you must be the one everyone's talking about. The great mediator who was foretold.
Yes, well, our esteemed outsider here has agreed to thoroughly appraise our situation, in the hope that we may finally close the book on the exclusion zone once and for all.
They say you asked around. Listen to folks. That's a good start, at least.
The seer predicted imminent danger to the exclusion zone. In the interest of safety, the displaced must leave.
Well, the displaced are the ones taking that risk, on the grounds that predictions can be false.
The displaced are under the Order's care, and the Order should decide what is best for them. Hence why we need the help of an outsider. Mediator, I leave the fate of the exclusion zone in your capable hands.
I'm all ears, Mediator.
The what now?
When grievances between the displaced approach fisticuffs, we hire Sub-Rosa hooligans to duke things out for us.
That is unquantifiably absurd, and I don't see how moving into the exclusion zone will help. Unproductive is one thing. Paid Donnybrooks with surrogate fighters is... well, I'm at a loss for an applicative metaphor to describe it. I understand he is rather short-handed.
Yeah. Someone should get right on that, huh? Anyhow, what was the good doctor's diagnosis? At Auntie's choice, we'd view this from a lens of how sickness undercuts productivity.
That is indeed unfortunate, but the dangers predicted for the exclusion zone may outweigh these concerns. Collapsed, but we built Matriarch's Mercy to optimize comfort and safety.
I'm guessing you're saying this wasn't an official structure, more of a hastily assembled, precariously built shanty. People are struggling to make do with what they have. If we had the exclusion zone, this wouldn't be a problem.
I'm aghast these structures weren't built following established Order construction guidelines. Speak on, then.
You mean that missionary type who's always talking at everybody instead of to them?
Mathematics is the hidden language of the universe which unites us all. The closer we come to understanding it, the closer we come to true understanding.
I haven't heard that much sugarcoating outside of an Auntie's suppository ad. But fine. Whatever you say. You actually got the Provisioner to give you the time of day. Huh.
Ah, yes. I sometimes forget Provisioner Plotnik is also assigned to minding the displaced's needs. Her role is largely proactive, while mine is reactive.
If the Provisioner's booked up, I say redeploy another egghead at the matter.
It's less of an issue of personnel as it is of safety. Contrary to your assumptions, we do care about your collective and individual well-being.
Did he also happen to mention they were needlessly oblique and vague?
But our predictions are given to inform and protect, not to frighten. Forgive me. I do not mean to disrupt. By my calculations, you've explored this topic from every conceivable angle. Admirable work, Mediator. I suspect that your sympathies lie with the displaced. Unfortunate if true, but I leave the decision in your capable hands.
Shit. Very well, Administrant. You win. I'll honor the terms of the mediation. Let's hope your math was right.
Have faith. Or, if not faith, reason. We can still work together to improve conditions around Matriarch's Mercy. Your reward, Mediator, with my thanks. I now consider the matter decisively closed.
Societal cast-offs who have succumbed to a life of pilferage and plunder. Auntie's choice troops have been espied bivouacked in trenches crisscrossing the highlands. And although a ceasefire exists... degree of circumspection remains advised. Newly introduced invasive species deposited here by Auntie's choice have been determined to be territorial, toothsome, and aggressive. Monitor their surroundings at all times.
On your way. Troublemaker approach.
make me go away.
刚刚拿到的那一个黄色的应该是任务用品，任务用品，只是我还不知道它是做什么用的。哎，不是吗？应该是任务用品啊。哎，没有出现在里面了。那个齿轮应该是任务用品，可是它跑到哪里去了？
Back in business.
等一下，我打的我快没子弹了，等一下。
Is this me or has my ankle been squeaking? Anyway, need something, Commander? Found it, huh? No. You know what? This one's on me. Shouldn't have left it lying about. Something like that. Truth is, I was getting ready to toss that old thing. Guess I just wanted to listen to it one last time. See if I missed anything other than her waxing about the greater good. I don't know. Some hint of who she really was? Some sign that she could turn into someone who'd betray her own team? Sounds stupid said out loud. You know, I can't really remember what the others sounded like. Helen, Eric, Wade. I've tried recalling their voices, but there's just nothing. Static. All these years. And the only recording I've managed to preserve is from the one person I'd rather forget. No, burn it, launch it out the airlock, do whatever you want with it. It means nothing to me now anyway. Sure, always happy to tool around for a bit. What did you have in mind?
Look alive, Commander.
所以我走这边来上不去啊，走错路了。我应该往那边走啊。好吧，退回来。等下玩到4点就差不多要结束了。啊，4点，好。我忘了他们有没有后门啊？啊，没有后门。这个叫什么？孔武有力啊！看一下我要怎么走啊？因为这边没有后门，所以我必须绕这边走。这有个像围墙的东西，我要穿过去，然后再往这边来。好吧。 行情况。什么情况？
Stubborn clog in the old pipes. You're gonna have to hold it in, friend. Prove he's out of order. Never fear. I'll get that clog moving soon enough. They don't call me the pipe doctor for nothing. Shucks. Why, if I hadn't just been wrist deep in sewer water, I'd shake your hand. The notion of a pipe doctor stems from the belief and understanding that plumbing and the human body are fundamentally very similar. Of course, I wouldn't make such a claim if I couldn't back it up. It's like I've always said, a doctor is a biological plumber, exploring the unknown and unseen depths of the human body. And what is the human body but one long, wet, interconnected pipe? Take it from the pipe doctor. We're all just tubes down to the core. You mean you want the pipe doctor to practice real medicine? On real people? Why, this is the greatest day of my life. The human gut is the most compact and efficient sewer system ever. A plumber's dream. My dream. But don't get me wrong, it would be an honor. I'm just not sure that I'm ready for that kind of challenge. Well, I do thank you for your confidence, regardless. Always remember, good plumbing starts in the bowels.
Move on, freelancer. I've been tasked with only treating enlisted personnel.
Access to that area of this trench line has been restricted to authorized personnel only.
From the north, hold fire.
Where's your destination?
好了，我要结束了。